of the G77 plus China, Pakistan played a critical role in forging a consensus on loss and damage issue, plus the climate finance issue. And also we expressed the hope that in the COP28, which is going to take place in November in UAE, most of the understandings which had been reached between the member countries, there would be some implementation mechanism that would be established. Pakistan certainly is one of the worst affected as far as climate change is concerned, because it has affected about 33 million people. One third of the country was inundated with water, and about $30 billion worth of losses were suffered as a result of the thing. We also, in our interaction at the OIC contact group on Kashmir, OIC contact group on Palestine, ministerial coordination meeting of the OIC as well as SCO, we highlighted other issues, including the efforts towards peace and stability in our region. Particularly, we also mentioned the Jammu and Kashmir dispute in our interaction with our interlocutors. Since we are sitting in the United Nations, obviously, it reminds us of the unfulfilled promises which were made to the people of Jammu and Kashmir for the implementation of the UN Security Council resolutions and the denial of justice to the people of Kashmir. So these were some of the issues that we had discussed and highlighted. So I'll be very happy to respond to any questions that you may raise.
Before we open the proceedings for question and answer, I would request that you should keep your question brief so that more and more people can participate in this session. So as a matter of tradition, I would request senior ANCA member to go ahead, please.
Thank you very much, Amanat. My name is Abdul Hamid Sayam. On behalf of the United Nations Correspondents Association, first we welcome you, Mr. Minister. We are glad that you gave us this time, and I hope we will have a very good encounter with you. I have a few questions related to the issues, but they are related to the same subject, okay, about Jammu and Kashmir and Palestine. Mm-hmm. Many Arab countries now are abandoning the Palestinians. So would we ever imagine Pakistan one day would also turn its back to the people of Jammu and Kashmir? And the second, would Pakistan one day normalize relations with Israel before the Palestinians have their own independent, contiguous, and sovereign state? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think this is an important question, but to be very honest, in our interactions that we have had in the last 4 or 5 days, including in the OIC ministerial meeting, or for that matter during the OIC contact group on Palestine, which met day before yesterday, we didn't get this impression that Palestine or the issue or the Palestinian people were being abandoned by any of the Muslim countries or OIC member countries. As a matter of fact, there was a reiteration of the support that is being extended or which will continue to be extended to the people of Kashmir for their right, legitimate rights, which have been guaranteed to them or mentioned in the relevant UN Security Council resolutions. So that is the impression that we have got during all the interactions that we have had, whether they were bilateral meetings or whether they were in the context of the overall ministerial meetings or the contact group on Kashmir. As a matter of fact, there was an expression of solid support for the Palestinian cause as well as the people of Palestine. Jammu and Kashmir, again, is certainly an issue of great importance. That's the core dispute between India and Pakistan. It is because of this issue that we have had tensions, conflicts, and wars between our two countries. And then it is because of this factor and the kind of steps which India had taken on 5th August 2019 to further deny the Kashmiris their right, including the attempt being made by the Indian side to change the demographics of Jammu and Kashmir. That is something that is of great concern, not only to Pakistan, but also people of Jammu and Kashmir. We would like to have peace with India, but at the same time, it will be contingent upon the resolution of Jammu and Kashmir dispute in accordance with the UN Security Council resolutions.
Mr. Azim Ammiya.
Mr. Secretary, Mr. Foreign Minister, sorry about that.
I was a secretary.
Yeah, that's why that reminds me. Okay. Now, today, the caretaker Prime Minister has used the strong words about genocide in India, at the hands of the planned, the Hindutva groups. So, and not only that, along with that, Kashmir has also been mentioned, and UN Security Council has been reminded about the resolutions. Don't you think that this will wage a diplomatic war of right to reply at the UN? And already India is already, facing a global situation regarding Canadian crisis. So what do you think, won't it inflame the Pak-India confrontation?
Well, you see, the point is that nobody can deny them to exercise their right to reply. We have no doubt about it. But then the point is that whether the stand which is taken by India in respect of this dispute, the core dispute, whether it is accepted by the international community or not. The UN does not accept India's claim that they have been making for a very long time about the UN map does not show Kashmir to be an integral part of India as is claimed by the Indian side. And then I would say, and I say this with full confidence, that the Indian position is not endorsed by any country in the world. Every country in the world, they have to go by the UN Security Council resolutions, and they accept this dispute as a dispute, internationally recognized dispute. You mentioned about the Canadian issue. This is a very unfortunate issue. We have been a victim of this phenomena for a very long time. I am talking about the assassinations being carried out by India in almost every South Asian country. But this is perhaps for the first time that it has gone global. And this is a very, very serious situation, and I think they will have to come clean on this, because as we see it, and as most of the members of the international community would see it, this is like the mask that they had coming off the Indian face, and having been exposed by this very, very serious crime that has been committed on the Canadian side.
Yes, please.
Lucas Chapman with Arab News. You mentioned the loss and damage fund, and obviously the kind of first litmus test for this fund is the reconstruction efforts in Pakistan after the devastating floods last year. Can you talk a little bit about sort of how has the international cooperation for the loss and damage fund been thus far, and how is this first test going?
Well, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, the Pakistan, along with other like-minded countries, had developed a consensus during COP27 about loss and damages, and also about the establishment of this fund, Climate Finance Fund. In addition to that, there was a donors conference that was held in Geneva, beginning of this year, which was sponsored by the UN Secretary General. My understanding is that next week, perhaps on the 27th of this month, the Secretary General is going to convene a meeting.
न्यूयॉर्क में निगरान वज़ीर ख़ारजा जलील अब्बास चलानी न्यूज़ कॉन्फ्रेंस करे आपने बराह रास्त मुलाहिज़ा किया